don't know why I struggle to talk so much. Like, in my head, I'm just constantly yapping, and now when I actually have to talk about it, like, it just doesn't come out. I don't know why. So I've been reading a lot of Micro Hunter, and I've actually finished it. I have a few things to talk about it, like the ending, how the story goes. I think it was okay for the most part. As the name suggests, the story is set in a world where everyone suddenly just shrink down to a small size, like 3 centimeter, which is like its other name. Each round you're given a different task, so everybody has to complete a scenario, and once they completed their scenario, a pillar of light appears, and you have to go through that. It basically acts like a checkpoint for them. So after each task, they have to head to this checkpoint. It's a sci-fi action survival horror where only the survival horror aspect of this thing is good, whereas the sci-fi and action part of the story don't land well very much. Like, I read through start to finish. Things happen relatively quickly, but as a reader, you take a while to like accept the situation these characters are put in. Like, you need to understand the plot. So in every webtoon, the first chapter is like the selling point. So once you finish reading the first chapter, you decide whether you want to continue or not. So I finished the first chapter. I decided, yeah, I'll give it a try, watch the rest of it. The first chapter is like very scary. The survival horror aspect of the show was, well, of the webtoon was done really well. The sci-fi part of the show, kind of pretty lame. Like, they're not flushed out very well. It's just they present this scenario to you. You just see aliens out of nowhere, and you just have to accept the fact that, yeah, you're doing this so that you can save your own life from this weird alien creatures from outer space. Action sequences. There's a whole tournament arc. Well, you can call it that way. A random pick of countries. Like, there are some stronghold names, like the obvious ones, but then they're like out of nowhere. Just there's Jordan. There is another country. There's Mongolia. Like, there's nothing wrong with those countries, but I just think it's just random as fuck. Action sequences, like, it's very repetitive, and what I thought about it is that the artist didn't really care about it, to the point where I read 2 chapters and I went back and forth between them, and I thought, Tess, did I miss a chapter? Like, I clicked next and I went through that. Wait, this story just progressed real far. Like, I'm sure there's like an action sequence that I'm missing here. I went back and I went to the end of the page, and like, there's nothing there. It felt like a chapter was missing, or maybe it's the site that I was reading on. I've checked the chapter numbers and they were okay, but I'm guessing maybe the site had a problem, like it missed one chapter from the story. Who knows, but like, it definitely felt off. Plus, the ones that were in sequence, they weren't as good either. I feel like their abilities shine more in like a survival aspect very well, rather than like fighting against each other. Other gripes I have with this webtoon is that, what was it, the character motivations. Like, I don't get it. Like, you spend a whole scenario making someone look terrible, and then they just sacrifice themselves. Like, I've seen this guy committed a genocide, and he's going to sacrifice himself so that he could make sure others move on to the next scenario. That just doesn't make sense to me. So that brings me to the ending of the webtoon. It's not the best ending webtoon can have, but personally I would say it's more than satisfactory, because it leaves a window open for like a sequel in the future, and as of this moment I don't know if there's already a sequel to it, but who knows, maybe there is. I say satisfactory because it isn't the best ending possible, because it ends on a similar theme to what some of the other webtoons share, which is rebirth or going back in time. So what would I give it out of 10? Personally, as I mentioned, the survival aspect of the show of the webtoon is so much better, and I would love to give it a 7 out of 10, but at a critical point of view, I'd say it's just a 6. Like, it can do better in a lot of things. Like, if it completely removes like the sci-fi aspect, and if it removes the action aspect especially, I think it can be a better story if it focuses more on the survival horror side of the show, of the webtoon. Sorry, how many times have I said the show? I'll leave it at that. Let me know what your thoughts are, and thanks for watching.